Hi, I'm Angela Nicholson, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can use Adobe Photoshop CS6 to edit your videos. The first step is to open the videos in Photoshop, so I'm just going to select them in Bridge and then go to Tools, down to Photoshop, and then I'm going to select Load Files into Photoshop Layers. Now you'll notice that the timeline is opened down here. Now if I just drag this to make it a little easier to see, you can see that both of the clips have loaded one below the other. With the videos arranged like this, only the uppermost clip will be actually visible. We need to arrange them so that one clip follows after the other one. Now there are several ways to do this, but the easiest way is just to click on that clip and drag it up in the timeline. Now if I shrink the timeline a little bit, you can see that there's the second clip after the first one. Just make it a little bigger and then we've got the thumbnail. Now the first thing I'm going to do is turn the sound off, because I know the sound on these two video clips is pretty awful. So I do that, just click on this arrow, select sound, and then I'm going to put mute audio. Do the same for this clip and mute audio. You've got options to adjust the volume if you want, or fade it in or out if you want to do that. If you want to add an audio track, you just use the options here, but I'm not going to do that with this video. To preview your video, just drag this blue icon along and you'll see you get a preview as you quickly scroll through the video. It can be a bit stilted sometimes, it depends how much memory your computer's got. But as you can see, I've got quite a bit of time after the woman leaves the scene, and if I go right back to the beginning, there's quite a bit before she enters it. And then on the other clip, you can see I've got a hand at the beginning, which I don't really want to include. And then there's a zoom in, and the woman enters the room and goes over to make a cup of tea. So now I'm going to remove the excess footage. And to do that, I'm just going to return to the beginning. And I can click on either end of the clip and just drag it in. So I just click at the beginning and drag it in, and as you can see, a little preview has appeared, so I can see which frame I'm getting to, and I want to come to the point just before the woman walks into the scene. There we are, she's come in, so I'm just going to scroll back a little bit and back. There's her shadow, and I think that's about right. And now I'm going to drag the other end in to the point where she disappears. So just drag it along, keep an eye on that preview, and she's just disappearing there, so I'll drag it back and she's gone. And you'll notice that the two clips butt up against each other, so you don't have a space in the middle. Now I'm going to do the same with the second clip. So I just click and drag, there's the hand, and it's gone. Start the zoom in, I quite like that bit. And I'm quite happy with the ending there. So I'll leave that as it is. I'm just going to increase the size of the timeline thumbnail so I can see what I'm looking at. There we go. I think it'd be nice to add a little fade at the beginning of each of these clips. So I'm going to start with a fade at here. So I just click on this icon and I want fade with black. So I just drag that to there. So that's it fading in. And now I want a fade between the two clips, so I'm going to go for a crossfade there. And then I want to fade to black at the end, so I'm just going to select fade with black again and pop that down there. Now you can tell by the length of these fades in the timeline that they're quite long, but I can change that just by clicking and then right clicking, and I can adjust the duration. I'm just going to take that down to just under a second. And then I'm going to do the same here and take that to just over half a second. Scroll back and we'll make that half a second or sixth of a second as well. And the great thing about editing videos using Photoshop is that you can use all the adjustment layers that you normally use for still images. So if I just drag this preview across so we can actually see the image rather than the fade, I'm going to apply a black and white adjustment layer. So I just go up to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, and select black and white. And now I can adjust that as I want. So I'm going to just play around with it for a little while. I think I'll darken that blue sky, perhaps bring up the greens a little bit. And just play around till I'm happy. Let's darken that sky even more. Okay, I'm quite happy with that now. And then I think I'd also like to add a vignette. So I can do that by adding a filter. Now if I go to lens correction, it will allow me to apply this filter, but it will only apply it to the selected frame. What I need to do is convert the video clip to be a smart object, and to do that I just click Convert for Smart Filters. And now I can go to the lens correction and apply a vignette to darken the corners. There we go. Now it's had quite a dramatic effect, but I'm going to add a bit more drama by using a curves adjustment layer as well. Just because I can really on this occasion. So I'm brightening the highlights and darkening the shadows. Maybe just brighten the mid-tones ever so slightly. There we go, I'm happy with that. Okay, so now I'm going to adjust the second clip. So I just drag this over so I can have a bit of a preview of it. Okay, so I'm going to adjust the saturation of this shot. So I'm going to do that with a new adjustment layer, and I'm going to go for hue saturation. And I'm going to turn down the saturation of all of the colours apart from red. I'm going to leave that where it is. So let's turn the yellows down, greens, cyans, blues and magentas. And I might just push the reds back a little bit. There we are. So I'm happy with that look, and maybe it also needs a curves adjustment layer. And just play around until you get a look that you're happy with. Okay. So I'm quite happy with the look of my video, but I'm just going to preview it. And to do that, I just hit this icon which sends the video head back to the beginning, and then I can press play to preview it. And you see it's lagging a little bit because there's not quite enough memory in this computer. The last step in this process is to save the video. And to do that, we go to File, down to Export, and select Render Video. And now you see we've got a whole collection of different options that you can select. So you can specify what format you want to use, what quality, and also the various sizes and frame rates. So just give it a name once you've selected all the options. And hit render, and it'll probably take a few minutes to render the video.